Welcome to the show, Cynthia Erivo. Cynthia, it is awesome.
Good to see you.
It's good to see you. I know. And even the first few moments we've had.
Yeah.
You know, there's something about hearing a British accent in
I know,
LA.
it's like it brings you home, doesn't it?
Oh, it's just,
Nice.
I feel so like embraced.
Yeah.
I just heard your voice come up the hill when you were coming up and I was like,
that sounds familiar.
I feel like I'm growing up, like I've just gone back to being a teenager.
Yeah.
Do I make you feel that way?
Yeah,
Because
it's like whenever I hear, because, you know, for all intents and purposes, this is home. But whenever I hear an accent that sounds like where I'm from, it makes it even more home. It's like, oh, I really recognize that. I feel like, it's a warm hug.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Do I still have it though? That's my question.
You do.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
I always
definitely.
get worried. I feel like you're probably bringing out more of me. I always feel like I'm quite the chameleon sometimes with my wife always makes fun of me because she's like, every time we talk to one of our family in India, you just put on an Indian accent. And I do it really unknowingly. I do it as like
but I think we each have, depending on where we're from, we have like traces of what that is. So I know that when I'm talking to my Nigerian friends, we've been listening to that accent since we were kids. So it's not that we don't have the accent. It's sort of like embedded on our brains. So it just comes out when we're together. It's sort of like the comfortability of it comes out. So I think it's the same as when we're around other English people, the comfortability of speaking with an English accent sort of comes to life. There are times when I have to sort of like shift certain words. Whenever I'm speaking to other American people, there are words that get sort of misunderstood. So I might say one thing and they'll be like, what does that mean? So I'll find the American version of that word and repeat it. And there are times when I've had to change the accent to make sure that we're both understanding. We get lost in translation. So I totally understand why it might be stronger when you're speaking to me, because now you don't have to make it any milder because you know that I'll understand everything you say.
Absolutely. Yeah, there was this. I remember when he first moved here and my wife would be at the grocery store and she'd be like, can I get a tin of beans, please? And I'm like, what's a tin? It's a can, by the way. Yeah.
Yes.
And she was like, where's the tin of this and tin of that? And then there was the one that I started changing my language from being pounds to dollars. And so when I'd be in a video or an interview, I'd be saying dollars. And then all my Brit friends in the comment section would be like, oh, we see where you are now. Like, you left us behind. So what was you were Stockwell, right?
Yes, I was.
I'm North London. So I grew up in like Wood Green, Tottenham area. Like that was where I grew up. What's something that we kind of moved to the States around the same time, we just found out. What's something that you miss about London, but you love about LA?
I love the sunshine in LA. I love that it's so bright a lot of the time and it's warm a lot of the time. But there is something really wonderful about the way the weather changes in London, in the UK, the way you get the seasons. Obviously, I miss family. I don't get to see them as often as I would do if I was there. And like, silly things like biscuits, because biscuits here are very different to biscuits there.
Which ones were your favorite biscuits? Taking me back now.
Digestives.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah. McVitie's.
McVitie's digestives or like hobnobs.
Oh yeah. Hobnobs. I used to love rich tea.
Yeah.
You know,
so good. The round ones or the pencil? The ones
kind
the oblong ones.
Yeah, or whatever that shape is.
Those ones are so good.
Yeah.
Like little things like that you just sort of like miss. Lay's also are not the same as Walkers.
Yes.
Walkers are really good. Lay's are good too, but all of Walker's packets are good. You have to find like the right, silly things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I love talking about it because it's same for me. It's interesting you said that. I think I often feel that sometimes when I'm back in England, I was like, oh, you live in Hollywood now and you live in LA. And I'm like, well, no, to me, I live in LA because the weather's incredible and I love waking up to a blue sky every day.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that I can go on a hike.
It's
right here. I can be in nature. I hike for about 2 miles every day around my home. And it's just, I love that. I never could have done that in London. I never did.
No.
And at the same time, I miss a lot of, I miss going to watch a football match because I love football. And so for me, being able to going to watch a game and like feeling the energy of the fans, it's special. There's like a special vibe around it. But what I like to do on purpose is I like to dive into people's journeys, people's stories, parts of them. We're not following a linear or we're not trying to do a biographical piece, but I love diving into stuff. And I saw that you went to a Roman Catholic school growing up.
Yeah.
How is that influence now when you look back, who you are today, positive, things that were challenging? Like, how do you grapple with that today? What does it feel like?
Growing up and going to a Roman Catholic school.
It was a girls' school too.
All girls' school, yeah. It's strange because I never really felt like I totally fit in there. I believe in God, but that sort of upbringing felt really restrictive. It's so rules-based that you sort of miss the most important parts of what that faith is supposed to be about. And I've kind of let a lot of the Roman Catholic side of me go, just so that I could create space for me to form my own understanding of what my faith should encompass. Right now, I'm really clear on the fact that the most important part of my faith is to be as loving and kind to people, to the world around me, not just people, but I have 2 dogs, so I take care of them in the most loving way because I want that to come back to me. So I believe things are really cyclical. So if you give out something good, that good will come back. You might not see it immediately, but somehow it finds its way back to you. It's like a boomerang, And I think that is really the most important part of my faith. And I sort of encouraged myself to really take in what is around me so that I can appreciate the wonderful things that come. Mm-hmm. The fact that I can get up in the morning and go for a run and it's really sunny. And as I pass by, there are 2, when I ran, there were 2 women who stopped and I saw them as they passed by, they smiled. And I was like, that's lovely of them smiling. And I ran back and somehow managed to meet them again. How? I don't know. I ran 3 miles. I, just did a quick 5K, but somehow on my way back, we met in exactly the same place. And they stopped and I stopped and they just were like, we were just really impressed. I don't know what are you running for? I'm running for the marathon. I was, oh, okay, great. And just those little interactions are really special because, we don't know how either one of us is going to influence our day. And to be able to stop and have that conversation with the person and smile at someone and, have something positive means that we've put something positive into each other. And I think that is really what it is about for me. And I understand that everyone has their own understanding of faith. But for me, Roman Catholicism sort of doesn't give us the space to embrace all of that.
It's always really interesting hearing someone's reflection in hindsight.
Yeah.